Alright, welcome back. Today's the day we're going to be putting together the new Frag tank. I prepped all the panels, so we're ready to start gluing it together. So first off, I'm going to briefly show you what I had to do to prep the panels, and then we'll start gluing it together. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we're finally at the point where we're going to glue this tank together. So I'm going to show you how I do that. First I'm going to show you what I'm using. I got a couple brackets that I made to hold the side up while I'm gluing it. And to be honest with you, this is the first time that I'm using the pin method. On my other tanks that I put together, I pretty much just clamp them to hold them. But this time we're trying something different. And this is a bigger tank, so hopefully it's going to work out. We'll see. So let's get the camera in here closer and I'll show you what I got. So as you can see, once I got the plexiglass, you can see that it has these saw lines on it. So what we want to do before we're able to glue these together is we're going to scrape those off using this scraper that you can pick up on Amazon. It was about 30 bucks, a little bit pricey, but it's a lot easier than sanding. And you're going to end up with a nice smooth finish, and it's a lot quicker. Okay, so I'll show you how you do this. All you do is hold it, tilt it at an angle toward you, and pull it forward. Might take, quite a few times to go over it. Just try to hold it level, because you want that really nice smooth square finish when you're gluing it together, so they don't have any bubbles or voids in it. As you can see there, we got all the saw lines off of that one, and then you'll just go to the next side. So first off, what I did was I made a couple small brackets, which is simply 2 blocks of wood. I left a 1/2 inch gap here and a 1/2 inch gap along the bottom and just screwed them together. And then on the end of it, all I did was I actually used a paint stick to put a little clamp that's going to hold the glass in place. The other thing that we're using, naturally I got some hat pins which I'm going to use to hold the piece up while I put the glue under it. I've got a square, and I've got the Weld-On 4, which I'm going to be using to glue this tank together. Okay, to give you an idea of how these blocks work that I made, okay, all you want to do is line the front of the block up with the edge of the plexiglass, and then that way when we set our piece in here, it'll be perfectly even with the edge, and then we'll just turn this once we get the piece in and lock it in place. Okay, so we got the hat pins in here. I did them about every 8 or 10 inches, right in along the whole edge. The edge in the corner is nice and flush, so we're gonna start gluing now. Basically, we're gonna squeeze the Weld-On in the little space that's provided by the pins. We're gonna let it set for a few minutes, for less than a minute probably, and then we're gonna pull the pins and let the piece drop down, and hopefully we're good. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this type of application, so I'm hoping that we get good results. Okay, so here we go. Try to get it in there all the way. Let it soften the plexiglass up. Make sure we got enough in there. start pulling the pins. Keeping it in place. Basically the glue is going to dry clear, so you're best off just getting the major drips off and not trying to smear it onto your good glass. Not going to worry about anything on the inside there. Just going to let it dry. It will evaporate. This Well-Done 4 will evaporate as it dries. But overall, I'm going to take the camera off now and show you the seal that we got on it. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours, so let's take a look at the edge that we glued together. Basically what you want is you want it to look like one continuous piece. And keep in mind that I haven't polished this yet, but you can see that our seam came out pretty good. I mean, there's very little as way as bubbles in it, and I think we're gonna have a good seam here. Once we polish this up, it's really gonna look nice. So now we're gonna go on to the side pieces and add them on. So let's do it. Okay, so what I decided is for the front part here, where I'm going to attach it to the front, I'm going to use some Well-Done 16, just because it's on a vertical area, and to try to get the liquidy Well-Done 4 in there, it's going to be kind of hard. So I'm just going to use the Well-Done 16 for the front, put the panel in on top of the pins, and then do the bottom with the Well-Done 4. Okay, so here's our side panel. Get some of this Well-Done 16 on there. We'll get it in place. Get some pins under it. I have my top bracket here, so we're going to set that in place, get some pins under it real quick. Now we're going to hit it with the Well-Done 4, where that has a chance to set. So the Well-Done 16 you have a little more time with that compared to the Well-Done 4. But we're ready for the Well-Done 4 now. Just gonna move the camera over a little bit. We'll go right along the seam with the Well-Done 4, fill it in. Sure we got enough in there. that set for a couple minutes. Make sure we're lined up good. So we'll let that set for a couple minutes and then we're going to pull the pins out. Pins here. What I'm going to end up doing is putting a clamp on this. Or a couple clamps. Hold it in place. Not applying too much pressure. Take this bracket off the top. Make sure our seam is good over here, which appears to be. Okay. Let that set up for a few minutes and then we'll do the other side. Alright guys, so now that the tank's all together, the next thing we're going to be doing is cleaning up all the edges, and then we're going to flame polish it, and we're also going to add some fluorescent blue Euro bracing to it. So be sure and catch the next video. That's when we're going to be doing all this, and then after that we'll be doing the plumbing and testing the tank out. So don't miss it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you are subscribed, watch for that notification. See you soon.